Welcome back for another episode of the Ross Bolen podcast. I am your host, Ross Bolen, here, as always, with Jared Borslow, J-Bone.
J-Bone.
Let the people hear your sweet, sultry barbecue sauce to my sausage voice.
Do I look hot? Be honest.
You have a mustache on your face today, which is, you look like a fireman a little bit.
I got a haircut, too. Big haircut.
You look a little bit like the fireman from The Sopranos. Now that I'm thinking about it, and for those of you who are watching on YouTube or on a clip on TikTok or whatever, you may know what I'm talking about. We're going to have to get a side-by-side going there. But, yeah, you got your hair cut recently. Now you've shaven and become a mustachioed fireman.
If I put on some, glasses, like my Felix Grays, I look like a barista.
Editor's note, not a fireman. Don't want to, hashtag, what's it called?
Oh, stolen valor?
Stolen valor here.
I will say this. My brother-in-law is a fireman. And much like how I'm the son of a doctor, and that makes me a doctor, since my brother-in-law is a fireman, I would argue I am more of a fireman than anybody whose brother-in-law is not a fireman.
Yeah.
Or is a fireman.
Than anyone whose brother-in-law is not a fireman.
He's taught me quite a bit about fire.
Brother-in-law of a fireman. Put that in your bio, Jared.
Food trend expert, son of a doctor, brother-in-law of a fireman.
The list grows by the day.
He's a California fireman, too. It's the hardest place to be a fireman.
It is.
Please don't. Okay.
Shouts to all the firefighters out there. Firemen, firewomen.
It's hard to be anywhere. I know I'm going to have some New York firefighters who are going to be like in my DMs
You
now.
son of a bitch.
Well, you don't have wildfires.
You think the California firefighters throw down harder than we do in NYC?
You don't have wildfires in New York.
And the point is that you're not a firefighter.
I'm not.
And they're both better at fighting fire than you.
Yes, but I'm
theoretically. I don't know. Maybe you think you'd be a good firefighter like I think I'd be a great housekeeper.
I think I would be maybe the worst firefighter.
And a decent rapper if I tried.
Well, I'll say this, Ross. The one thing that would preclude me from being a good firefighter is my fear of any height over 30 feet.
Okay, so you're out. Yeah. No, you're definitely out. Sorry, Jared.
Yeah.
Because we need you to not have that fear to do the climbing.
So I believe part of firefighter training.
Some buildings are high.
Is you need to climb to the top of a 100-foot ladder without any safety gear.
Without losing your fucking mind?
And any safety gear. It's like the ladder. It's not like a, probably like a 75-degree angle or something.
Doesn't seem safe.
It's not. It's not. I believe some firefighter trainees maybe have died.
What? Are you just making up firefighter lore now to start the show?
I'll say this. I took something I know
Some of this is from movies.
I took something I know is true, that they have to climb a 100-foot ladder without safety gear, and then added in that maybe somebody has died.
Okay.
Firefighters.
I think that's within your rights as a podcaster.
Thank you. Now,
to take that swing.
If you're a firefighter, I do not want you to DM and let me know if that's true. I want your brother-in-law
to DM
and let me know.
Let them connect as brother-in-laws of firefighters.
Yeah,
we're
gonna have a parade at the next St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna be playing bagpipes. It's gonna be the brothers-in-law of firemen. Shouts
to all the firefighters who are listening. We appreciate you, just like we appreciate our farmers and the members of the RBP Euro Gang. But even more so the firefighters all around the world.
RBP Sex Worker Gang.
Sex Worker Gang. The police. We've talked to some of the police in the RBP gang. We got cops.
My favorite person right now, who is an Instagram follower and listener, is RBP Dog Grooming Gang girl.
Oh, dog groomers.
She listens to us when she grooms dogs, and she always sends in pictures of her with the dog.
God, that makes me happy. Good. I hope the dogs get to listen too. She's not wearing headphones, is she?
No, speakers.
That's damn right. We don't discriminate here. Those canine downloads count too, Jared.
Yeah, true.
They do.
We sell against those.
Yesterday, we saw the biggest internet outage since like 2008 or something. We literally delayed our Monday episode until Tuesday so that we could discuss. So let's take care of some business and get into it, shall we, J-Bone?
Mm-hmm.
Today's episode of RBP is brought to you by Felix Gray, the greatest glasses company in the world that will keep your eyes safe while you stare at social media all day, even if it's out. You see these sunglasses on my face right now? They are Felix Grays too, baby. Prescription, non-prescription, reading glasses, nighttime glasses, sunglasses. They've got you covered no matter what glasses you're looking for. 5 years ago, Felix Gray realized that our eyes weren't meant to stare at screens all day, and they designed glasses to make daily screen time more comfortable and the workday more productive. I've got several pairs, the Faraday frames. My newest pair are the West both prescription, and then I've got these non-prescription sunglasses on my face right here, the Nash frames. They're all beautiful. I have a pair on my face every single night. When my eyes get worn out by the end of the day, I need my Felix Grays, and I put them on while I game because I'm literally staring at my laptop or my cell phone for about 12 hours a day, right? So I need them. You need them. Screens, Jared, we can't live without them, but they're burning our fucking eyes out day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, and that's where Felix Gray steps in and saves all of our fucking lives, just like firefighters do.
They do.
You know?
I'm actually right now looking at my screen time for Sunday, and because I wore my Felix Grays, which maybe saved my life because my screen time on Sunday was 9 hours and 18 minutes.
So yeah,
just
if you
on
didn't
my
have
phone.
them on, you'd probably be dead.
Just on my phone.
Now, I'm not saying that's a fact, and I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I think if you didn't have your Felix Grays on Sunday, Jared, something terrible could have happened.
Yeah.
So go to felixgrayglasses.com/RBP today for the best blue light glasses on the market. Get yourself a pair of glasses made for the 21st century and designed for modern, hardworking eyes. You have nothing to lose except maybe eye strain. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/RBP. Free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. felixgrayglasses.com/RBP. So our eyes and our brains were spared their normal dose of social media shittiness yesterday when Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp crashed hard. Longest outage since like 2008. Now, Jared and I, having worked our entire careers in social media, have seen several of these outages. They're particularly noticeable when it's Facebook. Now, back in the day, we used to flip when Twitter would go down every once in a while, right? But for those of you who are familiar with just internet culture in general, URLs and the World Wide Web and the Ethernets and such, websites go down.
Address.
What's that?
IP address.
IP addresses. Websites go down on occasion. It's a thing that happens. There's server issues. There's things that you need to do to maintain websites, like backing them up and all this crazy nerd stuff that I don't have any clue how it works. And sometimes when you're doing those things, it can cause issues and outages, and everybody knows this. But it had been a minute since we'd seen Facebook, or one of the huge platforms that we all rely on sort of on a day-to-day, go down for an extended period of time. And this was like 6 hours, okay? And I could literally feel the weight of the anxiety of billions of people not being able to access Facebook and Instagram, like falling off my shoulders. I'm not kidding. Like the normal amount of shit that is caused in our universe as a result of everybody being on Facebook and just commenting and liking and shedding, and just mostly spreading hate. I could feel that, like the difference, for several hours. Yesterday was one of the best days of my life. Just from the six-ish hours of better world vibes that I received. It was insane. Some headlines, New York Times, gone in minutes, out for hours. Outage shakes Facebook. They're the most dramatic headlines I've ever seen. The headlines around this shit. I'm going to read a little bit of this. When apps used by billions of people worldwide blinked out, lives were disrupted, businesses were cut off from customers, and some Facebook employees were locked out of their offices.
I have a friend who was DMing this girl on Instagram to meet up for a date that was supposed to be last night, and he couldn't message her.
Oh, like that was the only way they had communicated?
Only way.
Did not have her phone number?
Nope. So,
yeah.
Don't think the date happened.
Wide-reaching implications as a result of the Facebook outage. So Facebook's apps, which include Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Oculus, and I will note there are a lot of Gen Z kids and people around the world who use Messenger and no text messages, right?
Yeah, and I feel like all of Europe just uses WhatsApp and not
ton of people.
iMessage or whatever.
Ton of people. It's really a cultural thing. So like, I'll be honest, for me, I don't use Messenger or WhatsApp ever. But I know there are people who use them all day, every day.
I have friends in America who that's their text thing they use. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, so do I. It's weird, but it's like it's regional sort of. Like if your friends get into it and then you get dragged into it and then you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of great, and it's just like it's one of those things where you either kind of have been sucked into it, the algorithm has chosen you, or it hasn't. So Facebook began displaying error messages around 11:40 a.m. Eastern Time, users reported. Within minutes, Facebook had disappeared from the internet. The outage lasted over 5 hours before some apps slowly flickered back to life, though the company cautioned that services would take time to stabilize. More than 3.5 billion people around the world use Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp to communicate with friends and family, distribute political messaging, and expand their businesses through advertising and outreach. I cannot believe that on that list of things, distribute political messaging is now second, when really it should be first. But the fact that it's even second, that we have to admit that Facebook as a platform is for messaging with friends and family, distributing political messaging, and then expanding businesses through advertising and outreach.
Some people do all three of those in once.
They do. They do
Many
indeed.
people. I still can't believe, by the way, that Instagram was bought for $1 billion.
It's the greatest purchase in the history of man.
I don't think. What is it worth now alone?
Oh, God. I don't know. Many. It's the most valuable thing about Facebook. It's Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course.
Right? So it's like you have to kind of, I don't even know. It would be a completely different company had they not made that purchase.
I will say this. You could also make a case that the most valuable thing Facebook owns is Real Bros of Simi Valley.
True. Shouts to Jimmy Tatro. Funny ass show.
Who may be on the show at some point. He did promise he would come on. He
did. That was like pre-Pandy, I feel like. So, we'll catch him at some point. Need him to stop. Like, we need him to hit a lull in his career. Is that weird? Now I'm rooting against Jimmy, just for a little bit, though, so that he has to come do the show, and then we root for him to have more success. From Bloomberg, I want to read a little more. Mark Zuckerberg's personal wealth has fallen by more than $6 billion in a few hours, knocking him down a notch on the list of the world's richest people after a whistleblower came forward and outages took Facebook Inc.'s flagship products offline.
Ross, there's a whistle behind you right now.
There is indeed. A sellout sent the social media giant's stock plummeting 4.9% on Monday, adding to a drop of about 15% since mid-September. The stock slide on Monday sent Zuckerberg's worth down to $121.6 billion. Aww.
What a pussy.
Dropping him below Bill Gates to number 5 on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. He's down from almost $140 billion in a matter of weeks, according to the index. What a total and complete loser. Down almost $20 billion in weeks, son. Down bad. Seriously bad. I hope Zuckerberg disappears back to Nebulon. Fuck off back to space and let us repair all the damage you've done here on Earth, you meat-smoking alien bastard.
Sweet baby rays.
God. From the BBC, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg has apologized for the disruption caused after its social media services went down for almost 6 hours, impacting more than 3.5 billion users worldwide. For hours, potentially billions of people found themselves without the social media tools they relied upon to keep in touch with friends and family. Others reportedly found they could not access services which required a Facebook login. We were all happier. He shouldn't be apologizing. We should be thanking him for the only good thing he's ever done for us. Turn the machine off, Zuck. You stink. You stink. He stinks, Bone. So let's talk about what happens when Facebook goes down. First of all, for those of you who didn't realize this, it causes an entire industry to wonder if their livelihood is screwed. And that industry is media, really. Because as much as Jared and I, for instance, spend time talking about how Facebook is probably not great for society, its products, mainly Instagram, are a huge part of how we interact with our audience on a daily basis, right? Big part of our marketing, right? Now, we don't give them a dime, to be clear here. Bolen Media has spent $0 and 0 cents in its history on Facebook advertising, or any advertising for that matter. We have invested all of it in-house on marketing that we create for organic growth on platforms that allow it.
Except for we did buy that one poster ad in a strip club in the Lake of the Ozarks area of Missouri.
Oh, that's true.
It said, you should be listening to RBP.
It's in a restroom stall, random strip club in the Ozarks. We liked Ozark season 2 a lot. Yeah. So that was okay. That's it though. We spent $64 on marketing so far. All right. So we don't pay these people, but they do impact our business. The best thing Facebook ever did for itself as a company was convincing small businesses that without Facebook, they would never reach new customers and be crushed by the competition. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say Jared owns a bakery, and Jared refuses to spend money with Facebook. All right? The sell to Jared is that, hey, man, you seen Ross over there, right? Ross owns a bakery, too. And here's the thing. Ross is spending $10,000 a month on Facebook ads targeting your customers. You know why he's doing that? We allow him to. And here's the thing about that. It means that over time, Ross is going to bleed your customers from you slowly, subliminally, with targeted Facebook ads, exposing them to Ross's bakery so that they no longer go to Jared's. What you should do is spend some money with us to offset that issue. That way, Ross's customers are now being targeted with Jared ads, and the whole thing is canceled out.
Well, that pisses me off as a bakery owner because I know Ross fucks the dough before he makes the bread. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't fuck the dough, and people love my non-fuck dough, and Ross is taking my customers, and they're eating his fuck dough?
Well, Jared, I'm Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm here to tell you that what you should do is write a column about how Ross the baker is fucking his dough, and then you should put Facebook ad spend behind that column to guarantee its exposure to millions and millions of readers. In fact, Jared, you could target just Ross's customers and fans on Facebook and expose them to your column about how Ross fucks his dough. Now, don't you think that would be a good way to spend your money? Give us a blank check. That's how Facebook operates.
Well, I don't think technically you can't exactly take exactly your customers, but I could do people who like bakeries in Austin, and then it would kind of be the same thing.
Yeah, but if, like, let's say we had we were going to start a football league to compete with the NFL, we could literally target NFL fans with our entire campaign. We could pay Facebook to access the NFL's fan base.
We're going to get some Facebook marketers coming at us for this one.
But it's true.
I believe you can pay for a lookalike audience to the NFL's audience, which obviously includes overlap, but I think there's some sort of, like, that's how they get around it, right? Like, if you're the NFL, you'd be say, fuck, I'm not going to pay Facebook.
Whose team are you on, Jared? The Zucks?
No, I'm not on the Zucks team.
How much did he pay you, Jared?
I am saying why he's able to get away with it is because the NFL will keep spending money because...
Enablers like you. That's how he's able to get away with it. Firefighters... like you, Jared.
It's because nobody was spending with Facebook if Facebook just allowed people to fuck them over directly. But you say lookalike audience. It's, this looks just like the NFL's audience. That's how they get you, the lookalike.
There's a lot of ways they get you, it turns out. A lot of ways. So yeah, unfortunately, it's also a political propaganda machine more than anything else at this point, which caused me to joke on Twitter that we should hold our next presidential election right now. Like, when Facebook crashes... that's when the presidential election should take place. Because as we know, it was the number one influencer, in terms of social media, of votes in our most recent election. And the one before that. Billions of dollars. Billions. Facebook has. Zuckerberg lost 6. Yeah.
It reminds me of, like, the fines that the pharmaceutical companies got in prime of the century, the opioid
for
pandemic.
the opioid crisis.
They made $6 billion and they got fined like $40 million.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
$35 million or something. That's not even a slap on the wrist. It's like that's like a literal. It's like they're slapping us. What the hell?
They were like, what that did, giving them any penalty at all just showed pharmaceutical companies they could keep doing it, make a shit ton of money, pay a little bit, and then they're fine. Like, if they never had given them anything, they'd be like, oh man, we're not going to keep doing it because maybe they're going to crack down on us.
Who knows what'll happen?
But then they did know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was not that bad.
Tiny amount. Yeah. Twitter did a great job, by the way, of marketing to the fact that they weren't down and making fun of Facebook. Jack got in on the mix until they started dealing with issues because of the traffic influx. And they started having some, like, weird glitches and stuff, which was just kind of funny to me. But I genuinely hoped Facebook would never come back online. Mm-hmm. Not joking. Even knowing it would be detrimental to our business, I was like, you know what? I hope it never comes back. Fuck it. Seriously. I wish Facebook and Instagram were gone forever. That would be amazing. And it would force us all to go elsewhere. It's not like we wouldn't just all go find TikTok. It'd just get more of us to the better platform, the pure heroin of social media that is TikTok. It's going to happen eventually, Jared.
Yeah. TikTok is social media heroin, 100%.
It is.
It might even be fentanyl.
At the Ross Bolen podcast on TikTok. Where we get banned every 6 to 7 hours, really. we get another ban.
We are up right now if you would like to check out our stuff.
We are live currently, at least as of this recording. Between now and us putting this episode live, we may catch another ban on TikTok. In fact, I wouldn't bet against it. They're
Honestly,
very strange.
I did put up like 3 videos this morning. We could be banned right now and
not know it yet, yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Facebook has the whistleblower testifying against the company, and this is from Gizmodo. The buck stops with Mark. Facebook whistleblower says Zuckerberg responsible for system harming kids. Quote, there's no one currently holding Mark accountable, Frances Haugen said. That's the whistleblower's name, by the way. She has been identified herself for the sake of trying to save the company, she says. Says she loves Facebook. Jared. I love this angle. I think she's full of shit.
All I can think
She knows
about,
how evil it is and wants to take it down. But I think she knows the only way to get this narrative talked about more and to get Zuckerberg to have an angle so that he can correct is if she loves it. If she's a fan trying to save it. I feel like this is a lot of movie plots.
What's it called when you compare the Eiffel Tower to a penis?
Apples and oranges.
No, Frances Haugen. That's all I can think about. The name Frances Haugen.
That's upsetting.
French dudes with boners.
That's upsetting. And Zuckerberg upsets me as well, J-Bone. I just want him to go away. I have to talk to my therapist about Zuckerberg.
Do you really?
Yeah, that's how much he triggers me with his alien antics. Speaking of which, this episode of RBP is brought to you by Talkspace, the easiest and most effective way for you to get positive growth going in your life today. When you're at a low point, you might feel alone, but over 50% of Americans struggle with their mental health. I have talked at length on this show about how much therapy has helped me. But look, it can be difficult to find time for therapy or find a good therapist, or maybe there's not a therapist that specializes in what you need in your area. That's where Talkspace comes in and saves the day. Talkspace therapists give you the support you need to feel your best. They have thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including anxiety, depression, relationships, and more. Your therapist can help you set and achieve your goals. You're going to be amazed by how much progress you'll make week to week attending therapy. I've been in therapy for over a decade. Credit it with the vast majority of my personal growth and definitely the ability to maintain this show at all throughout the last 2 years as things have gotten really hectic around here. Talkspace is a fraction of the cost of in-person therapy. Instead of having to wait for an appointment, you can send unlimited messages to your therapist 24/7 and they will engage with you daily, 5 days a week. Look, the positive effects of therapy will create lasting change in all areas of your life, your relationships, your career, your overall happiness. And a therapist can help you identify the habits and patterns that might be holding you back, then help you plan to move forward in the right direction. You can start feeling better with a single message today. Match with a licensed therapist when you go to Talkspace.com. Get $100 off your first month when you use the promo code RBP to let them know the Ross Bolen podcast sent you.
It's a lot of money off, by the way.
That's $100 off when you use the code RBP. At Talkspace.com. Jared, I've got an insane headline for you.
Should I hit the insane headline music?
We don't have any.
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
That'll work. A drunken man who had been reportedly missing spent hours with a search party looking for himself.
Aren't we all just trying to find ourselves like this guy?
That's why you go to Talkspace.com and use the code RBP. Get yourself some therapy and find yourself so you don't end up like this guy looking for yourself, lost in the woods with your own search party. This is insane, though. That was from Insider, the headline. But a drunken construction worker who had been reported missing spent hours with a search party looking for himself. Relatives of Bayan Mutlu, 50 years old, reportedly became concerned when he didn't return home after a night of drinking with his friends in Turkey's Bursa province, the Times reported. His wife was unable to reach him on his cell phone. Officials were advised that his friends lost him after he wandered into a forest.
And my fraternity was at a formal in, I believe it was my freshman year of college, and we had a fraternity brother who wandered into the forest, fully clothed, had two Sperry's on, had chino shorts, polo.
Sure.
We lost him for about 4 hours.
Did you lose him, though, or was he just in the forest?
Nobody saw him. He could have been in the forest the whole time. Could have been somewhere else. Nobody had seen him 4 hours.
Unaccounted for, huh?
Now, we had one. Now this isn't like there were. This
Any
is
unsolved
cabin.
murders in the area?
No.
Okay.
But there was. This is like a cabin situation, right? We had a bunch of different cabins rented out.
Cabin in the woods?
Yeah. Scary.
Next to the forest?
Here's why that is scary. We had a fraternity brother, different guy, was walking from one cabin to the other alone, and he hears rustling in the forest, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he like turns around, like gets ready to square up. He's like, "Oh my god, it's like a bear, what is this?"
He's going to fist fight the bear?
Out walks that missing fraternity brother who'd been missing for 4 hours.
Say fraternity brother again, dude. I dare you.
Frat bro.
God damn it.
He has no shirt on. He's got twigs in his hair. He's got 2 left Sperry's on now. They're not right and the left. 2 left. And he has a bear claw scratch across his chest.
That's not him, dude. That's not him. He was replaced and sent back. So y'all are going to want to call that in. How long ago was this?
10 years
God
ago.
knows what he's been doing for 10 years, Jared.
And then he walked, I'm not kidding, he walked out of the woods directly into the naked hot tub that there was at this random.
The hell is a naked hot tub?
It's a hot tub with naked people in it.
That's just a hot tub, Jared.
It was in public, though. I feel like more of a public bath situation, like a Turkish bath. They have baths in Turkey where this story takes place.
I'm glad your fraternity brother's okay.
He goes to Harvard now.
God damn it.
He's in Harvard grad school.
Our best and brightest, yeah. During the hours-long search in the dark of night, a potential rescuer shouted Mutlu's name. Mutlu! It was then that Mutlu realized the search party was looking for him. Wait, who are we looking for? I'm here, he reportedly said.
Mutlu!
He's like, what? Yeah, dude, yeah, what? What a fucking idiot.
How nice of him was it, though, to see that there was a search party going on and go, oh my God, I need to step in and help.
And then he blamed it on a buddy. He goes, basically, I'm paying for my friend's mistakes. What happened is all like a joke. He said there was really no need for his friends to report him as missing. Yeah. But you did wander into the woods shit-faced for several hours, did you not, Mutlu? Joined your own search party, didn't ask any questions. What the hell? How do you join your own search party? Should have kept it going, too. Idiot mistake. When he hears his name, bro, don't just cop to it right there. You slowly slink to the back of the search party, make your way back home, go into the restroom, beat the shit out of yourself, liar, liar style, run out into the street screaming and say you were assaulted by an alien.
Yes. Or you just fake your own death because you're already confirmed missing and you move to another country and then you are off the grid forever.
Yeah. Now I have the song Lost in the Woods from Frozen 2 stuck in my head, so I might run into the forest.
I had a similar situation where my friends all lost me, but instead of...
Were they your fraternity brothers?
Yes. They were my fraternity brothers.
They weren't your friends then, Jared. They were paid for.
As the frat king, you should understand the bond between a man and his fraternity brothers. But I digress.
Oh, I do, I assure you.
So I was at the Kentucky Derby, and we all took a bus from Lexington to Louisville. 1.5-hour bus ride, right? I'm obviously, like, I've never been to Kentucky. They all live in Lexington, but, like, I'm just here, like, I'm just in the state alone visiting. The Kentucky Derby ends. My phone dies. I go back to the bus lot. Bus is gone. The bus back to Lexington had already left without me, so I'm just alone in Louisville.
Lost in the woods.
Because all my fraternity brothers left me. Luckily, the line
Real
to get
friends, how many of us?
The line to get out of Churchill Downs was so long that I just looked down the street and the bus had already pulled out and was in the road waiting in line to get out. I walk onto the bus, like I'm like kind of pissed, but I walk up to the door.
I'm kind of pissed. You should have been like, "Fuck you guys."
But here's
I thought we were fraternity brothers.
Here's what happened. I see it's the same bus driver. I knock. He lets me in. I get up. Like I'm not like huffing and puffing, but I'm like
crying.
What the? No, I was like, I did not have enough time to get mad in between when I saw the bus was gone and when I saw it down the road. I was just running and like I had all the adrenaline going through me. I walk up the stairs of the charter bus,
weeping.
I look down the line and there's 20 of my fraternity brothers there and they all just go, yeah, and they hand me a handle of whiskey and a beer.
That's the lamest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So I couldn't even be mad at them because they were all so happy for me to be back.
Then you guys all got naked and fucked in a big pile, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. A similar incident, back to our story, not the one that Jared just told us, took place in Iceland in 2012. An Asian tourist reported missing was found among a search party after she failed to recognize the description of herself, the Times said. Would you recognize the description of you? Well, right now, at this point, with the stash, probably, maybe.
Well, but if you said, hey, there's a guy with a... I might forget I have the mustache.
Like here, Jared.
Okay.
Describe me, all right? I've gone missing. The cops are here, Jared. All right, yeah, so your boy's missing.
Okay.
We're going to need a description. All right, we've got a sketch artist here. They're going to draw your friend Ross. All right, so we can go find him, William Ross Bolen. He's in the forest. We're going to need you to nail this, Jared. What's he look like?
Okay. So first you got to take the outline of the cartoon character Gumby. So draw the outline. Don't put any of the facial features on there, right?
Okay.
So you have that. And then he's got like...
So square-headed,
Yeah.
kind of, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so then take...
Green tint?
No. He's got extremely, extremely, extremely white skin.
Okay, very pale.
Very pale.
Very pasty, ghost-like?
More of like...
Would you say Casper-esque?
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee, okay.
Now the hair
Delicious
is that
treat.
of a cockatoo. Hair looks like a cockatoo.
Okay, like Ace Ventura-esque?
Yeah. And he's also got a cockatoo. Make sure you add those onto him. I don't know how many he has. I know he has at least one.
Like on his shoulders, like a pirate?
No, I mean penis.
A cock or two?
Yeah.
At least two, though.
Maybe two.
At least one, maybe two.
You know sharks have two penises? They're called claspers.
Sir, what does that have to do with our sketch?
Okay.
How tall is this guy?
I think he's like, I don't think he's like 7 foot or something. He's
7
tall.
feet tall?
He's taller than me.
7 feet tall.
Yes.
Okay, 7 feet tall, hair like Ace Ventura, skin like creme brulee. You got any facial features we can identify this guy with?
He's sunglasses. He's wearing sunglasses.
I just took him off so you could describe my stupid face. I guess I could be the cop right now, though.
He's got great teeth.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. They're worth several $1,000s at this point.
And then when you put out the sketch, I want you to put a picture of my penis in his mouth. But just for please,
Sir,
officer.
we're not going to do that.
Please, it'd be so funny.
We're not going to do that.
Are you team
sir.
content officer?
Now, if Jared goes missing and the cops come and they're like, what did your friend look like? Describe him for us. I'm like, okay. All right. They're like, how tall is he? 5'9", 10. 5'10", gimpy leg, wearing a Mueller. 1,000% got a Mueller on. In terms of clothing, could be anything from like a random disc golf team or F1 racing shirt to a brewing company to a vintage golf polo, some might call it. Others would say off the discount rack. But that's pretty much your range. Definitely wearing shorts at this point. It's not cool enough outside for J-Bone yet. Mustachioed face, well-groomed hair. Looks a little bit like the gay fireman that gets with Vito in season 6 of The Sopranos.
Sir, that's a spoiler. A lot of the team here is still watching that.
Oh, I'm sorry, officer. You can write me that ticket after we finish. He's got no shoes. Shoeless. Doesn't need shoes, though. Very tough feet. Very tough feet.
Sir, would you say that there's any sort of cephalopod growing on his foot or shoes?
Yeah, if he's got his Birkenstocks in hand, which is possible, he often sprints with them in his hand, they could be growing some kind of fungus. It is entirely possible, in fact, that the cephalopods that had infected my friend Jared's Birkenstocks somehow took over his body and are currently controlling him like a remote-controlled, avatar of some kind. But mustached.
It's pretty
Also,
good.
just an incredible dump truck of an ass.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Go find him, officer.
And
we need him.
Sir, now, will there be any sort of marking or 5-star on this ass?
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say who's responsible for this, but his right ass cheek has a giant print that matches my right hand exactly. About this big. So,
Sir, can you put your hand? We're gonna have to hand turkey a picture of your hand so we can compare.
Yeah, look, I'll just come with you, and when we find him, I'll spank it over and over, and we can see.
So you did spank it, sir.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah. Okay, get out the cuffs. So that's how that would go for Jared and I. It's hard to describe just pasty white dudes, though. You need something like a mustache really to identify yourself, which is why I never take off the sunglasses and hat. So I look as inconspicuous as possible.
Do you remember the picture? So at Grand X, on like our employee page,
yeah,
you had a professional looking photo, and then you had a photo wearing like the rowdy gentleman clothes. So it was a party photo.
Yeah, it was like a party clothing company we had going.
Yeah, and your party photo, you look like the biggest creeper of all time.
I look like Ellen DeGeneres in both of them, which is that was the worst idea. I think at that point when we were like, yeah, on our corporate website, we're going to have one photo that's like serious businessman and the other that shows people that we like, we work hard, play hard, and I was like, yeah, I got to get the fuck out of here at some point.
I will say my photo was the best of the entire company. I will say.
What were you doing in it?
I was playing ping pong, and I had a ping pong net draped around my neck like a scarf.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard, Jared. This episode of RBP is also brought to you by
Uprising Foods.
Uprising Foods! Our food system is fundamentally broken and it's making us sick at scale. The people at Uprising Foods are fixing that, Jared. Their mission is to liberate all of us from a fundamentally broken food system that is stealing our health. They have cracked the code on healthy bread. You cannot find something this healthy, this tasty, this good, and this fresh. Only 2 net carbs per serving, 6 grams of protein, 9 grams of fiber. They cover paleo to clean keto, simple low carb, high fiber, dairy-free, to grain-free lifestyles. They've got all of them covered. All Uprising products are baked with real superfood ingredients, almonds, MCT oil, apple cider vinegar, egg white, psyllium husk. Oh yeah, love that psyllium husk.
I love psyllium.
And olive oil.
They call me psyllium boy because I
Instead
love
of William,
it.
psyllium. Uprising has made prebiotic fiber delicious with their patent-pending breakthrough in psyllium husk activation,
Psyllium William. That's you. That's,
making fantastic
that's
digestive health absurdly easy for all of us, including me, now known as Psyllium William. It all comes down to taste, though, and healthy foods are littered with broken promises. That's where Uprising Foods delivers. They've nailed the taste factor on both their sourdough-esque cubes and the crunch factor on their newly launched Freedom Chips, Jared, which taste like old-school rye chips you all know and love.
Yeah, Chex Mix Gardettos, you know, that little rye chip you love.
They're phenomenal.
This is that, but way healthier.
They're great. Uprising is offering our listeners $10 off the starter bundle, which Jared and I have here at Bolen Media, and it was delicious. It is long gone. That includes 2 superfood cubes, a 4-pack of Freedom Chips to try. You just go to uprisingfood.com/RBP, uprisingfood.com/RBP. The discount automatically applied at checkout, uprisingfood.com/RBP to get $10 off your first purchase of the starter bundle today. So for all of you looking for healthier food options, healthier snack options, here you go. There you go.
There you go.
Freedom! You know who said that, Jared?
Mel Gibson.
Nope. Britney Spears.
Is that a direct quote?
I guess it was William Wallace. But for the first time in 13 years, which is, again, I repeat, 13 years, this woman, Britney Spears, was under the conservatorship of her father. For the first time in 13 years, the 39-year-old international queen of living pop stars is making her own decisions about life, Jared. The court officially suspended, and I will note the word suspended, her father Jamie's conservatorship on September 29th, so about a week ago now, calling his control over Britney's life toxic.
You're toxic, I'm slipping under.
Did they do that on purpose?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
They also said that outside the courthouse was a media circus.
Wow.
All eyes on me in the center of a ring, just like a circus. Bop, bop, bop. It's Britney, bitch.
Big Britney guy, are you, Jared?
All I know is that it's Britney, bitch.
Look, this is a huge win. Just in general, this type of thing has been horribly mishandled in Hollywood, just like most types of things in Hollywood, really, since Hollywood's existed. And mental health has not been handled properly for our celebrities, particularly our A-listers. When they have meltdowns or breakdowns or mental health crises, we pile it on. It becomes entertainment for us, fodder for the fucking tabloids. And Britney Spears, more than anybody else in my lifetime, you know, other than perhaps Michael Jackson, has gotten it the worst. She's just been, her whole career, man, since she was a 16-year-old girl, she's been attacked, sexualized, over-sexualized, overexposed to a variety of things that no little girl or person, period, should have to deal with. And look, Britney is the most boomer-ass social media content creator of all time. Like, she is the divide between Gen Z and millennials personified. The most awkward online content creator ever. But I'm glad she can do it freely now and not have to send us weird subliminal messages about how her father is holding her captive in her own home by wearing yellow and shit like that.
Did that come out as something that was true?
It was one of the, there were a ton of different points where somebody commented like, wear yellow in your next video if you're under distress. The next video she had yellow on, and it just, spiraled from there. There's so many conspiracy theories. Who the hell knows, right? I mean, it is like, I'm pretty sure she's not well, right? But I'm not sure anyone would be well after living the life she's lived, and she deserves a chance at happiness and independence as we all do. And clearly her dad was not giving her that. Like, she was like a caged bird in my Instagram or some shit. And apparently she was just marking her way through Vegas shows, like not really dancing, just doing the basic marking for years, like a shadow of herself, because she was being forced to do those shows by her dad. Guess what she's not doing anymore? Those shows. For now. I'm sure they'll like triple the amount of money they were giving her and she'll probably come back. We'll see. But maybe we get Oliver. Maybe we get the full...
Who's Oliver?
Her cousin, Oliver Spears. The next in line for the Spears throne. Maybe we get Oliver's first single and debut album as a result of all this.
What do you think Oliver Spears' hit single would be called?
Hit Me Baby 2 more times.
Damn, he can take a freaking beating.
He's also going to be in a Catholic schoolgirl outfit, which is on par with pop culture in 2021. Lil Nas X just had a music video where he was pregnant. The conservatives loved it. They love him. They're huge fans.
Yeah.
Especially the Christians. The church. They talk about Lil Nas X every Sunday right after they talk about Jesus. In just as positive a ways, too. I've been told. This is second-hand hearsay, you see. 1 degree removed. My friend who goes to church told me.
Yeah, Lil Nas X, he is... I think it's amazing how he went from like essentially Baby Shark land,
Yep,
being one of the biggest child musicians.
I want to take my horse down the old town.
Like the videos of him going to elementary schools and middle schools, and the entire student body
singing the whole thing
in the gymnasium is losing their shit.
It was the moment I realized that man was going to be rich forever. Videos like that going viral, I was like, damn, this dude. Because think about that. Now you have a fan base that spans every living human's age group to start your career. And then he was like, you know what I'm going to go for? People fucking that are also not judgmental. And that's basically what he's doing now.
Yeah, and then it's like watching his progression has been awesome because
he's the best.
He's made he's made more noise in less time than I would argue any artist ever.
Marketing genius.
Yeah.
Yes, he has utilized. He's like the way Barack Obama utilized social media to get elected. That's the way Lil Nas X has reutilized, like changed the entire social media game. I mean, he controls it, man. Like when he wants to make Twitter about him, Twitter becomes about him for a while.
Something I want to know though is this: I would like to hear how good he is at singing with no effects or anything. Not because I think he's bad or good. I just want to hear what it sounds like.
He's definitely one of those guys that I'm interested to see what that would look like too. I mean, similarly to T-Pain, it's like, all right, when you remove all this shit, all the strippers and shit, is there serious artistry there too? And oftentimes the case is obviously yes.
For T-Pain, absolutely. He's better.
T-Pain, it was actually mind-blowing, and all of us feel stupid for ever doubting him in the first place and want to beat the shit out of Usher for telling him that he ruined music. What a stupid fucking thing to say, Usher Raymond, you ass.
Is his last name Raymond?
He's got it bad. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Usher blows.
He does blow hard. Hard, long, and far. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. That's a celebrity I want to fight now. Usher. The newest one to the list because of what he did to T-Pain. Yeah. So Britney Spears has multiple documentaries out right now, by the way. I'm not sure if that's like just as a result of all this or they just felt like this was the time to execute those documentaries or if she's signed off on any of them. No clue. I'm pretty sure one of them's on Netflix, though. And yeah, from Entertainment Tonight, while Spears is taking time to heal, she has been celebrating the decision on social media, sharing snaps of her island vacation with fiancé Sam Asghari. First thing she did, Jared, was get engaged. Super quick, fast, which... Fingers crossed. On Thursday, Britney posted a video of the two on a boat in which she quotes her famous, "Oops, I did it again." She's been topless a lot. A lot of hand bras going on Instagram for Brit. Again, super boomer with the social. But I respect it because I'm like right there with her at this point, you know. That actually was my next move to market the show. Jared, I'm just going to stop wearing a shirt in all of our videos and cover my nipples with my hands.
Well, you wouldn't
my
need
supple breasts.
you wouldn't need your whole hand. You just need like the tip of your pinky.
That's right. One pinky each. And that's actually not a joke. That would legitimately cover my whole nipples. I'm doing it right now. You just can't see because I got shirts on. One shirt.
Everybody knows the rules.
Everybody knows the rules. Britney Spears' favorite song, go.
What's the one she does with Will.i.am where she says it's Britney, bitch?
How could you pick a Will.i.am related song, dude?
You
You know how we stand here.
I do want to fight Will.i.am, but
We all do.
She made Will.i.am likable for a brief glimpse of history.
I got a feeling. Ooh. Mine's a slave. I'm a slave for you. Which also is pretty ironic in hindsight because she was like a slave for her dad.
Yeah.
Was that song about her dad? Find out next time on RBP.
We will not be discussing that.
No, we will not. Today's episode is also brought to you by our sports betting sponsor, MyBookie.ag. You can use the code RBP when you sign up at MyBookie.ag to unlock a double deposit bonus. Stipulations apply. You support the podcast while you do your sports betting, Jared. If you're like me, you love sports, and you know that the only way to make sports even better is by betting on them so that you're not only emotionally invested, but financially invested too. It makes it a lot of fun. I do this with the NFL in particular because the Texans are so bad, I can't actually enjoy football anymore unless I have money on the game. Now, some might call me a degenerate. I call me coping. That's what I call me. I'm coping.
If you can't see this, obviously, unless you're watching, because otherwise you're looking at whatever you're looking at while you're listening to the podcast. It's
Sports.
how everything works. I have a bunch of sports gear behind me right now. I've got golf clubs, a tennis racket.
I've got mini baseball bobbleheads.
Ross and I love sports.
I've got a whistle, a pennant, an Oilers pennant. Look at us, Jared. We are sports guys here. We know what we are talking about when it comes to sports. I even have a sports podcast.
If I also have a sports brand, Formula
You do.
One. We're Greek sports
Look
guys.
at us.
Wow.
Huge on sports. Who's bigger on sports than us? Nobody.
And if the Rays play the Astros in the playoffs,
Then we're going to kill each other in this room.
Ross and I
Fight
are
to the
going to
death.
go to Minute Maid Park, each put $500 on our team, and then the loser has to...
Clean the other's feet with a toothbrush
Yes.
and a soldering iron.
And the only lubricant they can use is their own saliva.
Yep. Spit on it, bae. So go to MyBookie.ag today and use the code RBP when you sign up to unlock that double deposit bonus again. All of the lines you could possibly desire, including live lines if you accidentally miss the first pitch or puck drop or kickoff or any of the other things that occur to start the beginning of sports games. Prop bets, Jared. Bet on all kinds of things. How many hits will this person get? How many touchdowns will this person throw? How many layups will this person make? How many steals will this person have? All that shit. You can bet on all that stuff on MyBookie. They also have a casino. If you're like, I don't really watch sports, I don't really care about sports, do they have anything for me? They do. They've got a casino at MyBookie.ag, including a live casino where you can actually watch the dealer deal or the fucking wheel spinning person spin the wheel for roulette.
Make sure
with
to
a little
gamble.
ball.
Make sure to gamble responsibly, of course.
Of course, gamble responsibly. But if you're betting on sports, if you're gambling, if you're looking for a sports betting home online, MyBookie.ag is the place because you can use the code RBP to support the show, double your deposit, and get in there today and play. MyBookie.ag, code RBP.
Grab your light, this is stuff the Wikipedia when you're high.
Stuff the Wikipedia when you're
I got a fun one for you. Quickie. 1940 Brocklesby mid-air collision. Brocklesby.
Doesn't sound very fun.
Brocklesby. It is fun, though, Jared. Sounds awful, right? Like, oh, great. Cool, dude. You're going to tell us about a plane crash. Not so fast, my friend. By the way, please let Lee Corso retire. On the 29th of September, 1940, a mid-air collision occurred over Brocklesby, New South Wales, Australia. Shouts to all of our Australian listeners. We love and respect you almost as much as the RBP Euro gang at this point. Y'all are really up there.
Yeah, we went viral in Australia with TikTok about 6 months ago, and that really made us realize TikTok is what we need to focus on.
It is. Australia's been a big part of our strategy shift here at Bolen Media. Thank you, Australia.
We also have a very big fan in Australia who has red hair and face tattoos. Fucking Australia.
Fucking Australia. Fucking Australia. Yeah.
Guy's wild.
So this accident was unusual in that the aircraft involved, 2 Royal Australian Air Force Avro Ansons of No. 2 Service Flying Training School, remained locked together after colliding. So they hit midair, Jared. They get stuck together They land safely. Everybody's fine. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody wins. Love that, don't you? The collision stopped the engines of the upper Anson, but those of the machine underneath it continued to run, allowing the aircraft to keep flying. Both navigators and the pilot of the lower Anson bailed out. The pilot of the upper Anson found that he was able to control the interlocked aircraft with his ailerons and flaps and made an emergency landing in a nearby paddock. Who amongst us hasn't been there before?
Wait, did you say they bailed out?
Yeah, it sounds like the guys in the lower plane went, "Sorry, dude, good luck." Bailed, and the guy on top was like, "Oh, fuck." But when he started steering, he realized it was working. So he was like, "I'm just going to land this." Screw those assholes.
You get to keep the plane after that, I feel like. It's your plane.
Yeah, he saved 40,000 pounds, about 1.7 million pounds today, worth of military hardware. The freak accident garnered news coverage around the world, cast a spotlight on the small town of Brocklesby. And in preventing the destruction of the Anson, Fuller was credited not only with avoiding possible damage to Brocklesby, obviously planes going down in Brocklesby bad, but also the 1.7 million and pounds worth of savings of military hardware. Both of the Ansons end up getting repaired, so they repair the planes. The top one that he was in returns to flight service. The lower is used as an instructional airframe. I don't know what that means, but it's way less fun. Didn't return to full service.
I hate to hear that.
Local residents in Brocklesby commemorated the 50th anniversary of this event by erecting a marker near the site of the crash landing. Ah, good old marker.
If you are in New South Wales and you send us a picture of you listening to RBP at the Brocklesby Midair Collision commemorative marker,
We'll send you $50 worth of merchandise, plus shipping, which we know will be expensive. That's why you're only getting $50 worth of merchandise, because you're in Brocklesby, and that's far as shit from here. Probably like at least $100 to ship to Brocklesby.
yeah, that's going to cost us a lot of money, but we're willing to do it because we need this extremely niche photo.
We do. We need that very niche photo in the marketing that it would cause at least probably a half of a new listener if we put that photo up. At least half of one.
You got to think, we'll hashtag Brocklesby, and somebody in Brocklesby would be like, "Oi, Australian for beer, holy shit, look at this."
Fucking Australia.
Fucking Australia.
Fucking Australia. In other news, Fat Bear Week voting closes today.
Wow.
From their website, this is it. The climactic clash that culminates in the crowning of the king of the capacious creatures of Katmai. These are the names of the bears, 480 Otis and 151 Walker. Can 480 Otis's titanic tummy topple 151 Walker's whopper of a bear donk in this epic battle of the bulge? Who will be the 2021 hashtag Fat Bear Week winner? We'll find out whenever they announce that, I guess, J-Bone. Soon, later today, I guess, probably.
Who do you want to win, Walker or Otis?
I mean, I've got them pulled up, and frankly, I'm looking at the transition that number 480 Otis did and that number 151 Walker did. And while 151 may be a more impressive bear now at the end of Fat Bear Week than maybe Otis was, the transformation that Otis made. I mean, you're talking about an almost malnourished looking bear here, Jared, who is now the proud, at least second place winner of Fat Bear Week. I think that alone elevates him above Walker for me. I think Otis should take this thing. Look, I'll show you. Otis is clearly struggled in the past season to get his full share.
Oh, wow.
Otis, Walker didn't have to work as hard, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Walker's clearly a fatter bear, but if
Now-
Fat Bear Week, like you said, is about the transformation into a fat bear,
I think you certainly have to take it into consideration, right?
it's about the journey, not the end result.
But it is kind of like NBA MVP voting. It's like different voters believe that award means different things, right? And that's kind of that's part of the deal.
I think that Otis is the Jokic in this situation,
Okay.
right? Like the team is not really necessarily that successful, like relatively speaking.
But the performance just so impressive that you
Exactly.
can't deny it, and you have to give it to Otis. Yeah, whereas Walker is more like the I don't know, LeBron or
KD.
but they got knocked out quick last. Just finish the analogy for us. We took you so far, right? Didn't we? We took them so far, Jared.
That was like, if you didn't finish it for yourself.
Come on, then you don't even watch sports.
No.
Clearly, you don't go to MyBookie.ag and use the code RBP because you don't even watch sports.
And you don't even want to double
deposit bonus. Stipulations apply. Godly, look at you.
Gamble responsibly.
Shame. Yeah, anyway, Fat Bear Week. Glad we didn't miss it because we didn't. We covered it. Look at us. Totally covered it. Jared, you and I are fans of Shannon Woodward. known Westworld star, shouts to Shannon Woodward, friend of the show, I suppose. I don't know. I feel like we tweeted with her at one point.
She has interacted with us on
Does
Twitter.
she know we exist in some capacity,
Yes.
maybe?
She knows that our Westworld podcast, Freeze on Motor Functions, exists.
That's huge. Anyway, she shared this incredible Craigslist post, Jared. It's a senior couple looking for someone to help them learn video games. You know, because they're near-death boomers who don't know how to operate an iPhone. So Shannon Woodward gets sent this, or actually it goes kind of viral on Twitter, and Shannon sees it, and Shannon, it turns out, has done video game, not only voice acting, but also like the thing where they stick all the green balls all over you.
Motion capture.
The motion capture part of it, and is like the main character in The Last of Us 2.
Yep.
And The Last of Us is probably, it's a top 5 video game of all time for me, and it's widely considered to be one of the best games ever made. Jared, I didn't get all the way through it. I pissed myself too many times and ended up just walking away.
I bought it for $60 for PS3 and played about 45 minutes of it and couldn't play anymore. It's too scary.
Okay, I was like 4 hours in at least.
Nope.
But then I did piss myself too many times, and I just ran out of underwear, frankly, was the thing. So if you want to bring me some more clean shorts, then maybe I'll finish The Last of Us. But there was The Last of Us 2, and this particular ad on Craigslist, that's the game these old people are being requested, or are requesting to be taught. Which is just like, did y'all already play The Last of Us 1? Or are you just skipping? And I kind of respect that too. They're like, fuck it, we're old. We don't have time for both.
Yeah, they're definitely skipping. Like they know how to play 2 if they played 1.
Right? But that's the thing that worries me for Shannon, because Shannon volunteered to go be the one to teach them. And I'm like, I don't know, this sounds like a setup. Like these old people might be looking to do like 1 kill before they go. And this was the thing they came up with, the lure in some, like, you know, they figure an unsuspecting nerd shows up, then they kill and maim this person and probably eat them. So Shannon, be careful.
Yeah.
Also, Jared figures this is what old people have been doing since 2019. They've been working their way through 30 years of video games.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, there's not many safe and entertaining things you can do when you're old.
Nope.
So
I tried to get my grandma a gaming PC. She wouldn't have it.
you can only watch so many reruns of the Dick Van Dyke Show before you just go bonkers.
Bat shit crazy, Jared. Yeah. I got an email today from Wikipedia's founder. I'm not even sure he'd want me to read this. It's obviously a personal correspondence. But Wikipedia is such a big part of what we do here on RBP, such a big part of what gets our high schoolers through almost all the way to graduation in some cases. And that compelled me to want to share this. So I will read it now. Again, this is a personal email from the founder of Wikipedia. Dear William, otherwise known as Cilliam, I'm so grateful to be the one who thanks you for the one-time gift of $104 in support of Wikipedia. I want to take this opportunity to celebrate your generosity and your exceptional willingness to take part in creating a better future for the world. I founded Wikipedia 20 years ago. Since then, our beloved encyclopedia has grown a lot through good times and hardships, and today, more than ever, it is serving its true purpose. It helps millions of people study, discover, explore, and research, and make segments of your show, the Ross Bolen Podcast. Each day, Wikipedia gives readers a new chance to acquire the knowledge that is so rightfully theirs, no matter what their circumstances might be. And on this goes.
I can't believe he actually singled out,
Me.
stuff to Wikipedia when you're high in the Ross. Jimmy Wales.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy that Jimmy Wales is so aware of what we're doing here.
Yep, signed it. Thank you for everything. Jimmy Wales, Wikipedia founder. But yeah, we donated $104 to try to help out our friends at Wikipedia, who are, a small part of what we do here at RBP, and then a huge part of what we do here as a people in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Jimmy Wales.
Thanks,
He
Jared.
lives in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I went to high school.
Wow. How about that? Jimmy Wales.
Jimmy Eat Whale.
Birthday shouts to Waylon coming up on, it already happened. Belated birthday to Waylon, September 30th. If you want more RBP, go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast, where you get an ad-free exclusive, brand spanking new episode, all new material, but free of advertisements and exclusively available to our supporters who have kept this show going, growing, and are giving Jared and I an opportunity to actually build something special here at Bolen Media. So we appreciate you so much. If you are not there already, go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast.
Last Friday, like Ross said, every Friday there's a completely new episode of REP, never before heard, only heard on Patreon. We had our I mean, he's not the third employee, but he's the second and a half employee here at Bolen Media.
Contract Cade.
Our contract employee, Cade, who works here in the office every day.
Makes a lot of marketing clips for us. And if you want to find out what else he does,
or what he looks like or what he's all about, go to Patreon. We did a very extra long, like hour, 18-minute, I believe, episode. Very fun, very funny. Cade brought his own segment in.
He did.
A Where Are They Now about rapper Rich Boy.
One-hit wonders. We discussed some one-hit wonders, too.
A lot. We discussed a lot about, like, early 2000s rap.
Music. We're all big music guys, me, Jared, and Cade. Just like we love sports and music and jokes.
And sex.
So, God, the sex. Yeah, so go to patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast today. And this Friday, you'll get another ad-free exclusive episode, plus 6 columns a month, a Bolen Media monthly update that's usually like 1,000 words on what's going on with the company, which gives you more explanation and insight into Contract Cade, what he's doing here, and the potential that we're looking at for the next several months here. So, yeah, patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast today.
Shouts to me for going micro-viral on YouTube.
Wow. Shouts to you, Jared, for going micro-viral on YouTube with Formula Bone.
Formula Bone. Go follow at Formula Bone on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. If you like Formula One or are interested in Formula One, I teach you about it. We talk about it. We have fun.
Also, this show, at the Ross Bolen Podcast on Instagram, at the Ross Bolen Podcast on TikTok.
Yep.
I'm leaving it. At Ross Bolen Podcast on Twitter. No, it's just at Ross Bolen Pod on Twitter. I'm at WRBOLEN on all social media. I have a new sports podcast, Banging the Can, at Banging the Can on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Tic-tac. Yeah, Jared and I will be back soon. We may do Thursday this week. May do Tuesday, Thursday. If our schedule clears, maybe we do Wednesday. We'll see. But another episode coming, and then our third one will be on patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast. Appreciate y'all. Love you. Thank you. Goodbye.